Well, good morning. I figured I'd do a video early and then come back home, shower up, clean up for the day. I got my old scanner I used on a railroad in here, so it was a real good scanner back in the 90s. Here, there's no digital back on that stuff then. It's got like 6 AA batteries in there. I haven't used it in a car at home for so many years. I've got the frequency for the dragger, hotbox detector, and dragging equipment detector locked in, so it's not scanning. I've got a little 2-meter radio from Amazon tuned into that channel also. So if my batteries go, I'll go to Home Depot and buy a big pack of 36. Otherwise, I'm going to go to Sam's. I've got like 2 boxes of battery in my bedroom, and they're pretty much depleted. I think all the AA's are gone, and we're down to just a few AAA's. So this is the road that's on the news. It was CBS Pittsburgh last week. This is Butech Bliss. I got a great uncle that retired from there. He was a POW in World War II. He just passed away at 98, just over a year or two ago. So this 62 goes to Niagara Falls, New York. Turn right, turn left. It'll take you to El Paso, Texas. 45, what we're on, or it just used to be 45 before they put this road in. It'll take you to Lake Erie or the Ohio River in Wellsville. New York. Okay, so we're out here. 62 is going to turn off because it's a bypass. This 4-laner was supposed to be the 62 expressway connecting up to what they halfway built in Alliance to get around Alliance, Salem, and all these tiny crap towns that hold everything up. US 30 Lincoln Highway south of here, it's at the end of my street, has the same problem. They need to finish this off. This is over 40 years old. Basically, we tell people they may just, when we work on the cars, this is where we come out and test it. Because it's just a short 4-laner to nowhere. The 14, originally, it combines with 45. That was to hook up Lake Erie and Cleveland to the Ohio River of Wellsville. So this scene here, and I've got pictures from the bridge up here with my extended van I traded in for this. This is your white noise movie scene, and we never saw anything go on daytime, but they had light carts, just like we used in the railroad, but mostly in the military, on the median strip here. And they filmed here for, I don't know, a month or 2. They had to put a sign in my front yard for extras at the Centerplex building across the street. So this is a tributary for Little Beaver Creek, just as what's coming in, leaking in East Palestine. The bridge at the bottom of the hill. The water here flows from what was Nice Chemical.
Norfolk south of the mile 9.01. Track 1, no defects.
There's the Salem hotbox dragging equipment detector going off. Track 1 means he's probably going eastbound. That's normal direction. Here's Little Beaver Creek. It flows to the north, makes a complete loop around Salem.
Southern milepost 69.01. Track 1, no defects.
Track 1 is the southern track. Normal direction is east toward Conway, East Palestine. So that detector is after the video of the train on fire. The train on fire is on my street and South Broadway in Salem. Those diagonal buildings on the left are on South Broadway. Oh man, we got a dog ahead. People just keep hitting it. So the strange part is that it's about 2 miles south of here, back at the light. And like I said, this is where they did the White Noise movie, which is about a train derailment hitting a truck. So the railroad comes out here, and it parallels us 200-300 yards to my left, or the south. And I'm going to go over on that lane, hit the median, and then I'll hold the camera. I'll detach it or whatever. But yeah, this is where we test cars. You work on a car, you run it out here. You come out here to 14, do a U-turn, come back the other way. Oh yeah, everything's good. Oh, we got lights. So there was a road, yeah, right through here that they, they cut through to put this in. Late 70s, I would say, they started working on this, or early 80s. And like I said, in Alliance, actually, it loops around to the north of Alliance and stops. And it was supposed to meet up with here. And then, I think, go to exit on Route 11. So they could still do both and combine 30, the Lincoln Highway, and 62 that runs to the Mexican border and Canadian border. It's like a 66 parallel. So up over the hill on the left, oh my God, a lot of traffic coming from the northwest. Just up over the hill, when I swing around past the storage units, that goes down under the railroad for a bypass. So straight out ahead of us would be where we put the interlocking in, called CP Murph. It's named after a guy that decided to take his truck out on a weekend. Very old, and wouldn't retire. And drive on the railroad. He had no permission to do so. He died in an accident at a highway crossing. And some reason they named the interlocking here after him. So I'm getting a little bit of, the radio reception isn't too good. It's an old magnetic antenna I haven't used. It seems like I have two of them somewhere. As soon as I see a spot like up here where the terrain lowers down, I'll hit the flashers. And you can see the ballast in the distance, maybe. So up ahead, that's White Noise Netflix, not the one with Michael Keaton or whatever in the early 2000s. It's a recent release. And put her in park. Get the flashers on. Somebody, I think I'm broken down. Showing I got 65 miles range. Another thing I got to do is keep this thing charged. My son's girlfriend, fiance, is due in March. So I need to keep this car, instead of doing the 20 to 80%, is keep it closer to 90% for when that day happens. So White Noise is up ahead. They had this blocked off behind me where we did the U-turn. They had it blocked off at the traffic light on my street. And the first bridge is where I would cross over with a van. They didn't have that blocked off. That's Goshen Road. So I've got some photos and stuff of that, of the movie scene. Like I said, at daytime, there was nobody there. All these vehicles were strewn about. And, all right, detach. Okay. So the building's pretty much dead ahead. You got a beige with a brown roof pole building, and then some other ones. You got the ballast to raise it up for drainage, but that's the railroad. So you can see we're a little shaky on this, picking up the signal. My little ham radio transceiver wasn't picking anything. I got that off. You can get those on Amazon, but it should be locked into the frequency. So Nowadays, the detector goes off 2 consecutive times. When I worked on Conrail, it would go off once, and then the engineer would report back. Because it would be milepost so-and-so, Salem, Ohio, track 1, no defects, over. And then the engineer would report his engine number, Salem, milepost, track 1, no defects, out. So, not getting the engineers on here. I don't know if it's just a failure of the radio or they're on like a duplex. They're on a different channel. So somebody can't override what they're hearing on that detector stuff. So that goes out from there. The interlocking actually used to be around here for Salem, and we moved it west to where it's at. So 2 miles from where we turned on, the tracks cross my road. And we're maybe 2 miles out from there, and the tracks are just a walking distance from here. So this thing could have affected me. It comes close to my house. You just don't notice it the way things are laid out. It's like an optical illusion. So there's nothing going on there yet. Gonna put you back in the holder. Hope that didn't hurt. Roll the window up. I have to turn on some heat. 41 degrees. The car's still warm because it hits 67. I've never seen that much heat in wintertime in Ohio. Sometimes it gets near 60 and then drops. So it was just a weird winter like I've never seen here. I'm kind of scared of what's coming for summertime. Oh, I got my blinker on still. I'm trying to turn flashers off. I just had my right blinker on. So that's actually in vicinity of the first time we got out of this Chevy Lumina with the supervisor. Gave us shovels and gloves because he liked to watch people manually dig. I guess it was something they did to him. And backhoes around. We had to dig through the tracks. There was 2 channels of tracks for track wires and interlocking. And 30 years ago, we're pretty young and stupid. There's 2 guys in each ditch who were actually racing each other. So I preferred the 40-pound, 8-foot digging bar. I could do that all day back then. After the railroad injury, I'm not sure I could lift the damn thing for very long. So here's the creek. It goes around, meets up with other tributaries. There was an old Sandy Beaver Canal that part of the system. It doesn't meet up with what's coming out of East Palestine until you get to a tiny 1-block community, Fredericktown. There's actually an official Fredericktown in mid-Ohio. This one is on the Pennsylvania border on State Route 170, which goes through Palestine and East Liverpool. And the Middle Fork, this is, I think, this is the Middle Fork. The East Fork, I think they meet up on Route 7 west of Beaver Creek State Park. They go through there and then they meet up with the Norfolk. All the water's coming out of Palestine. And that's where the polluted water was. This water was polluted by Myrex, a component of Agent Orange for Vietnam War. It's a Superfund site. So alright, I'm going to turn on some heat. All that stored up heat from the garage yesterday is gone, which is pretty good. It's a while. So I'm going to cut you. Well, I'm going to turn off here. This is North Ellsworth. And that was a security camera or something. Bliss is on that road. It's got an office building. It's got the big rolling mill factory. And then they've got another building that sits between Broadway and South Ellsworth. So. A little bit of shaky radio traffic. So that's just a general scanner antenna. Radio Shack or whatever. And of course, Radio Shack didn't produce anything. They were like Sears. Oh, kitty. Kitty. Where's the kitty? Little white shoes. So I had a meter they used to make fun of on the railroad, but it would pretty much match Fluke. And I still have it. Gave it to my son, he gave it back to me. Still works. That's 30 years old. So. Alright, I'm going to cut off, take a little video break. So, first crossing we're coming to is on this street, and that's where things were aflame. We're going to check out radio signals today, because I do have a theory, but I'm not sure. They need to extend the transmitting antenna on that dragger down there. It probably wasn't a problem years ago until the trains got longer. So, see you in a bit.